Greetings, Earth Stars. Eliane Nicole here, your astrologer and tarot reader. And now I'm going to do a quick cosmic weather report on the full moon of Cancer and other major transits of the week of Monday, January 17th through Sunday, January 23rd, 2022. And the first transit that starts off the week is actually Pallas Athene in Pisces, conjuncting Neptune in Pisces at 21 degrees. And this happens early in the morning on the West Coast. And I love this aspect happening on the observance day of Martin Luther King's birthday, because this aspect is like we are sealing the dream. The strategy is in place to realize the dream. And it also says to me that the divine feminine is leading the way in the realization of the dream. Then that same afternoon at 3:48 p.m. on the West Coast, the full moon emerges in Cancer. Cancer is the cardinal watery yin temple of the moon. So the moon is home in Cancer. So this is arguably the strongest full moon of the year, because the moon is in the place where she can do what she does in full capacity, which is to illuminate and to culminate. And so, this is a maternal moon. It's a cozy moon. It's a family-oriented, homey moon. This moon is very intuitive. It's very psychic. It's also very sensitive. And so it's a very creative moon as well, I want to add. This moon is opposing Pluto in Capricorn. And so this is for the collective highlighting aspects of the patriarchy and the power structure that are in the process of undergoing a very deep transformation. Things are rising up from the depths that need to be dealt with. This is going to be in our personal lives, but for the collective as well. Plutonian things rising up from the depths can be, if it's in your first house, it could be like a pimple, like something on your face, you know what I mean? But if it's in your fourth house, it could be the plumbing in your home, if it's in your second house, something to do with your finances. So the way these transits affect your own personal astrology really depend on what time you were born and what your astrology is. And I encourage you to call me for a reading if you're interested in knowing those kinds of specifics. But for the collective, I see that we are coming up on America's Pluto return, and this Cancer moon is really highlighting those topics. And the first exact formation of America's Pluto return is next month in February. And so I'm going to do a Pluto return video because it deserves its own video. But I will say that the topics that are on the world stage right now that are being highlighted and illuminated under this full moon are very likely topics that are going to be, we have a reckoning that's coming up, certainly in America, which affects the globe, which affects our personal lives. So it affects all of us, America's Pluto return. And that is, Pluto returning to the same place it was when they signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. And look at what's being highlighted under this full moon. The Voting Rights Act is under attack. Black authors are being banned because the white supremacist power structure is afraid of critical race theory, true history being taught in schools. And then it's Martin Luther King's birthday, and you have white radicals bastardizing his quotes, using them to literally evil ends. And so you see the tension in this Cancer full moon opposing Pluto in Capricorn, the patriarchy. The full moon is the divine feminine, and America's chart has a lot of Cancer and obviously Capricorn, the Pluto return. There's so much I want to say about that, but that deserves, again, its own video, so I'm not going to get into that here. I want to go on to the rest of the aspects of the week. For instance, another thing about this full moon is that it is sextiling the North Node, and it's also sextiling Ceres. So there's a lot of growth happening. It is very rich for creativity, and it's a time for us to just really take care of ourselves and to take care of others. Because these are deeply transformational times that we are going through as a collective, and there is no way that can't transform us as well. And so, none of it is easy. So we have to care for ourselves as we're going through it, and to others. And so Tuesday, Mercury Retrograde sextiles Chiron in Aries. And so for the collective, this is a Mercury retrograde in action. I like this aspect. It's a sextile, so I think it brings out the best in the retrograde. We may be reviewing things over broadcast or the internet. There may be some public apology. There may be some amends being made. There may be some kind of forgiveness that's happening. It looks like there is a healing of the divine masculine that is happening. Hopefully there are negotiations that are harmonizing that can prevent war, possibly, or fighting, possibly. In our personal charts, you have to look to where Aquarius is and where Aries is in your chart, but there may be some kind of healing communication like forgiveness, apology, etc. happening in that area of your life. It can also, on a personal level, be a meeting with a therapist or a meeting with a doctor or just having a healing conversation with a friend or someone in your life. Also Tuesday, Uranus stations direct. This can bring a shakeup, a plot twist, a surprise, a rebellion, revolution, defiance, something like that. Things are going to be moving full speed ahead, at this time, certainly in the area that Taurus rules in your chart, because also the nodal shift is happening, and that shift is happening into Taurus. So there's a big Taurian energy happening for the collective. Big moves are being made in the heavens this week, which means big moves are being made on planet Earth this week. Certainly that are affecting the collective, and depending on our own personal astrology, it's likely that big moves could be being made in our personal lives as well. The nodes moving into Taurus, the nodes have been in Gemini and Sagittarius for the past year and a half, and this really deserves its own video as well. But basically, the nodes have been on the information axis and belief axis for the past year and a half, really since the George Floyd, murder. And we have learned so much since then. We have come so far, but there is so much further to go. And this is a turning point now where all of the information that we were receiving and downloading and all the belief systems that we were having to collectively let go of and transform, now it's time to embody that knowledge. Now it's time to manifest it in a real way on planet Earth. And there's so much to say about this nodal axis. I have to do a video on it because there's so many levels. I can't do it justice here, and I need to move on. But the Taurus Scorpio nodal axis is going to be an intense one. It's going to be an intense collective experience that we're going through for the next year and a half. One of extreme growth and a lot of beauty and goodness, but also elimination and letting go and death. So more on that to come. Wednesday, Vesta in Capricorn is sextiling Jupiter in Pisces. So there's a sense of us coming into alignment with the vision around the dream and being devoted to the commitment and the responsibility and the obligations that it will take to bring the dream into fruition. And also on Wednesday the 19th, the Sun in Capricorn is trine the North Node in Taurus. This also has the energy of, I think big news in the stock market. This has to do with a lot of growth and prosperity and wealth, certainly in the context of the patriarchal power structure, depending on our own personal astrology. This could be very beneficial, particularly to people who have late signs in the late degrees of Earth. It could be very good financial news or some kind of worldly success for you with this aspect. Also, Wednesday the 19th, the Sun moves into Aquarius. So we're in Aquarius, and everything is in Capricorn and Aquarius. So Saturn is kind of running the table in the sky, which means right now is about hard work, discipline, commitment, boundaries, all of that kind of Saturnian stuff right now is, the dominant energy in the air. And I should also do a separate video on Aquarius season, and I probably will, or I'll do a post on it. But I want to keep this video moving so I can get to the final aspect of the week that's big news, which is Sunday, January 23rd, Mercury Retrograde in Aquarius conjuncting the Sun in Aquarius. And this has a feeling of there may be, internet jam-ups. There may be some technical difficulties, schedule changes, travel plans postponed or canceled, just mercurial things may be happening that day. However, there's also could be like reviewing or revisiting some communications in the area of your chart ruled by Aquarius, and for the collective, the internet could be having problems, servers could be down, those types of things might happen. And so that is the overview of the astrology for the week. And again, I think that I should do separate videos on some of the aspects I talked about as they're unfolding, because there's a lot of depth to them and I don't want to just gloss over them. But I wanted to give a broad overview of the energy of the week. And follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole, where I do posts to continue to talk about the transits as they unfold. And you can also, if you'd like to have your own personal reading and see how these mundane transits interact with your personal astrology and therefore express and manifest in your personal life, feel free to contact me for a reading. I love talking about astrology. I love doing readings. You can hit the contact button under my profile bio at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole and email me or text me and we can schedule a reading. And in the meantime and in between time, have a great week. Huge energetic shifts happening this week. Big moves being made. Enjoy the energetic shift, surf the waves, and I will see you soon with more information from the cosmos. Until then, bye now.